Nice to see a full room. A quick poll. How many of you are working at a security department or a security company? Some. How many of you could consider you as a security champion, someone that aren't in those two categories but want to do a lot of stuff and do other stuff as well? Get other people to do things as well. And who are just developers, regular ones? Yeah, not security developers. Yeah. And do we have some kind of other roles? No managed? Yeah, one. And who was too lazy to raise their hand? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. I'm a developer myself. I've been coding for money for about 20 years. And I didn't care about security at first, but now I do. I didn't care so much about just talking about Visual Studio news or C# news or tips or tricks and stuff like that. I feel I want to do something more important, so I started to talk about security for developers. But today we're going to talk about Hack the Juice Shop. So what is the Juice Shop? Back in 2014, Björn Kimmich, I think his name is, he started to develop a project that was supposed to be a website that had vulnerabilities. And he needed a name for the workshop, and he lives in Germany. And they have a name for stores that sells crap, basically. So he picked the name Saftladen, and if you translate that to English, it's basically Saft is juice, and Laden is shop. So that's why it's called Juice Shop, because it's a crap shop. And the letter, when you shorten the name to JS, it was the same as JavaScript that most of the application is going to be built on. So he basically took the JavaScript logo and extended it to a juice box. So that's why it looked like this. And what I want to do today with the Juice Shop is to help you see how easy it is to set it up and to run it, as well as encourage you to run it with your colleagues, to set up an event or a capture flag event or something. So that's the goal for today. And this project is an OWASP project. And here is the project site. And you can actually find almost everything you need at that site. But I know there are many developers here. Developers are lazy, so am I. So I'm going to tell you how to do it. First, so this is open source. You can contribute, yada, yada. This is the architecture. So we have some kind of SQL in the bottom, in the back end. They are using SQLite. We have Node, and we have Angular. They're using Material for the design. They have integrated with Google Login as well. So it's basically, and for most part, you don't know how to know these things, but it can come into details when hacking that is Angular app or what kind of exactly database they are using. But it's the kind of common architecture. They do modernize it once in a while, so it's kind of up to date what you could build today with Angular. So let's take a quick look at what this shop is about. This shop is about use and use-related stuff. So it's like a shop. You can browse around and look at the different things they are selling. If you want to buy something, you need to create an account. And when you are logged in, you have a lot of options to do with your account. That's changing your password and changing your address and stuff like that. And besides from logging in, wait, can't clip soon. There. So when you're logged in, you can look at a product. Soon. And the project can have reviews. You can give reviews. They can give you bonus points when shopping for them. You can add them to your basket. And when you can go to the basket and do a checkout and adding your address, your credit card, and like a normal web shop. And we also have a couple extra functions here. We have a customer feedback form where you can add feedback. We have a complaints form where you also can include your invoice as a file. We have a chatbot that we can try to get things out of. We have an about page with the term of use link to a file of term of use. We have a photo wall where we can upload pictures. So basically, a little bit of everything that you can find in a shop. So that's the happy path. That's what this application is supposed to do. But this is a little bit broken behind. But more of that soon. Let's talk about how we can set up the Juice Shop just to run it for ourselves. There are a couple of different options. I have not going to tell you everything here, but I'm going to choose the one that are most default for me, and I hope that one of them will fit for you. So either you can just go and download the source code for it and run it locally. You need to have Node installed to be able to do that. That's the first option. Maybe not the best way if you want to help colleagues come together and do this and stuff like that. So instead, you could use a Docker. And Björn has set up a Docker image for us just to pull down. And then we could run it locally if you have a Docker host on your machine. Or you can set it up with the help of the same Docker file in Azure or some other cloud or similar. So this is the options I have been using. And I'm gonna use the middle one for the demos, actually, just to be able to not. I'm gonna use the internet anyway, but I don't need to have the internet if I use Docker locally. Yes. So when we have this up and running, we're gonna have a menu of challenges. It's gonna be 100 challenges. They're going to be divided in different categories and different difficulty levels. And we're going to pick and choose for what we're going to do. All these kind of challenges are divided in these categories. So we have a couple of challenges around injections. We have regarding crypto, logging, validation, secured by obscurity, or you see everything. And they are based on OWASP top 10 issues, all of them. So they have a corresponding error code in that one as well. So we're going to start hacking soon. But before that, I need to tell you a little bit about some tools and rules. So you're going to need some tools. Some hacking you can do just by clicking in the browser, but you may need more tools than that. And one tool that you can use is the dev tools in the browser, the F12 one. So if you're not familiar with that one, you're going to be when learning to hack. The other one is something similar, Postman or something similar, something that you can edit or craft your own post messages to the backend. So you can manipulate the things. You may need to do some scripting for when you're trying to hammer things and testing over and over again. It's the same thing with different variations. Then you need to have some scripting for some of the challenging, very few. And basically the whole internet. You're here to train when using this. So if you need to read up on how does SQL injection works, you go and search and read about it, and then you go back and try to hack. If you need to know how XSS injection works. You go read about that and then you go back here. But what you can do is read the source code. The code is literally written to support the errors without crashing the complete application. So don't read the source code, that's cheating. Don't read or alter the database as well. That's also not for touching in this case. The scoreboard is the menu I'm talking about. That's not for hacking. So you're not supposed to hack that and just switch everything out to solved or similar. So that page is not for hacking. It's just for keeping scores and guiding you for the next challenge. And there are solutions you can read about when you are getting stuck. But try to do the challenge first before you read exactly what to do. Okay? So, no. Here we have the shop. So this is what it looks like when you open up it first time. It says hi, and if you want to, I can help you. This time we are not going to do that. So we can familiarize us with this one, trying to create an account and so on. But we have already seen that. So we are going straight for the scoreboard. Oops, didn't I reset things? I thought I reset this, damn it. I was supposed to show you that the scoreboard isn't visible at first. But I forgot to so we pretend that the scoreboard isn't there. That's actually the first real challenge we will have to do. So the question is now, how do we find a scoreboard if the scoreboard doesn't have a visible link? We have a different options. Anyone want to guess? Have a suggestion? Slash scoreboard. Didn't really work actually. And we can try different kind of options here and try to brute force our way to the right. So that's one option. Another option would be to actually open the F12 tools and have a look at what we have here. So we could basically go and look at, we can go and look at the elements and see if something inside of the menu is like just hiding it. We could go to the source. Let's see. Damn it. There. And look at reading in the JavaScript files. And search in the files and try to find like something around the menu or something about the scoreboard and so on. But you weren't too far away. Scoreboard is 2 words, so a dash between, we should be able to find it. Damn it. Let's see. I'm going to try to use another instance. See if we have. Yeah, this one is better. So score. Dash again. Let's see. There. So when we manage to do a challenge, we get this green box. Damn it, that one is set up for different things. Okay, we go back here. Here. So let's see, can't we like? No, it's that one. Yeah. So we can see here in the scoreboard what we can do. We have a couple of different options. We can filter by star, that's difficulty. We could use the category, it's the next one, the big line there. We have some tags that help us to see if something is easy or hard or something like that. We do have let me set up a new one. Gonna see if I can set up a new one really fast. There's really a problem with the challenge thing that I'm going to show you is already solved, so I need to have a new instance of it. Yeah, this is better. Cool. Yeah, I can just show that one as well. Now we are at the right state. So we only have one solved, and this is the scoreboard challenge. Let's switch over to show all. And I think we're going to go for a challenge called Login Gym. Here's that. It's a free star, so it's not too easy. But we're going to get some help. So we're going to log in with a user called Jim, his account. And that's pretty much all we get here. It's like 1 or 2 sentences. It's in the category injection. Okay, login, forms, injection, probably SQL injections. And this one have something called a tutorial. So it have this hat, orange box. So we're going to use that one. And then we're going to get the guidance what to do. So there are not too many of those guiding challenges, but they are a good start if you haven't hacked anything before. So it's telling us to find a way to log in Jim's user account. To begin with, go to the login page via the account menu. So we go to account, go to login. Okay, to log in him, we need Jim's email address and password to log in. But we might not have neither at the moment. If we have at least the email address, we could try to an SQL injections attack to avoid having to supply the password. So let's find out Jim's email. Luckily, the shop is very bad with privacy and leaks emails in different places, for instance, in the product review. Okay, so let's go back to the shop and look if he have got put in any reviews here. Here the admin have gotten a review. That email account could be useful for other things, other hacking challenges. Let's see if we have something here. 2 reviews from Stan and Bender. And let's see, green use. Here is the Jim address. Jim at use-sh.op. Okay, we have the email. So let's go to the account, log in, try that one. And we just put whatever in the password. And that doesn't work, as our help say. But we need to craft an SQL injection attack. And now is maybe the time to read up a little bit about it if you don't know how to do, or we read what the tutorials tell us to do. So it tells us to add that token, that, and that token. So closing the SQL statement and then just commenting out the rest. That's what we are doing. So we don't need a valid password now, hopefully, and try to log in. And we managed to log in. So that's our next challenge that we were able to do. We are now logged in at Jim. And let's go back to the scoreboard. And we have solved one here. So that's solved. If you would like to, we have a link here to read more about this kind of error. And we also have something called the code challenge, or coding challenge. This is kind of new in the Juice Shop. It hasn't been around for so long. So if we use that, we're going to get like a bit of the code where we have this problem or what to do. So here we could find, the first step we're going to find what rows are where the error exists. And since we know that it's kind of an Excel injections, I'm going to guess that this line 15 is the one that's having the problem. So we crease in that one, and then submit. And yay, that was correct. The next step is trying to fix the error. So we get a couple of suggestions. So the first one is about adding some kind of, changing this one. It's hard to see now with the screen, but there's something around this area they are trying to change. So basically, the thing about the binding, hashing password, blah, blah, blah. And we'll have fixed number 2. That one is over here. There's the last part they were changing. Change the user model to models.user. And plain true to plain false. And the third thing, they are using some kind of replacement function on this one. And number 4, they are doing something with matching the email and password to see if that kind of doesn't have those kind of token that we are using. And then they've kind of added in the same way before and so on. So now we have to choose something that we think is right. Just give me a number. I know you saw it like 2 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Give me a number. 3. So we try number 3. No, it wasn't the right one. Okay, give me a new number. 2. No. Give me a new one. 1. Do you think it's going to be correct? Yay! So that's how the code challenges work. Of course, you get a little more time and a bigger screen to read them. So now we have solved that completely so well. So let's do another one. We're going to do confidential documents. So this is a 1 star. And this time we don't have anything to go on except find a confidential document. So we can just start by thinking about where can I find document and where could there be document laying around that shouldn't be there and so on. But if I don't find anything and I need some help, I can actually click on those unsolved. They are linked to a document with some guidance. So this is not like the solution. The solution is in the same site, actually. So here you can find the solution as well. But we do get a little bit of guidance. So it's the first part about accessing a confidential document. So somewhere in the application, you can find a file containing sensitive information about some potential hostile takeover the Juice Shop top management have planned. So analyze and tamper with links in the application that deliver a file directly. And the file you're looking for is not protected in any way. Only once you find it, you can access it. So we need to go back to the application and try to figure out where can we find files. Do you remember from the walkthrough where we had some files or links to files? We do have some photos. You can start by looking at those. The easiest way to see a URL there is to use this one. And we have something called assets, public, images, upload. I don't really think that they would use the upload folder here. So I could go and look and try to use that path. But let's see. Here we had some league terms of use there. And this path, that looked interesting, right? So let's try to see if we can browse that one. Oh, good. And this is not uncommon, actually. It's most of the scenarios is kind of realistic. So here, what did we look for? We looked for something suspicious. It's kind of small, but that one looks strange. This document is confidential. Do not distribute. Yes, we find a file. And once we are here, maybe we see something else that could be interesting. So you don't have to follow the menu on the scoreboard. You could just click around trying to find things. And when you find it, it's going to tell you that you found it. So, yeah, Easter egg is one of the things. Not only this file. That sounds more like a fun thing. I need something that can use for leverage or another attack. Like JSON file. Can't that contain anything good? And this is what called back, so it's just a backup of something they deployed. I think it's a JSON file with configuration and stuff. That's really nice. But I can't open that one. There's some kind of filter for only MD5 PDF files. So the file is there. I know the path to it, but there's some kind of check before they're sending me to the file. So I need to fool it here. Let's see. Just jump in a little bit here so you see it better. So that's the file name. We can't really change that, or we can. Like this. That wasn't great. What we want to do, we didn't have my note here, is we want to tell it that it's the MD5. So we want to do like this. But we do that the file name is not correct for getting the file, but we're gonna pass the error message. The error message is also kind of not good, right? We are like showing all our internal files and rows and like, yeah, we are showing too much here. So we need to do that one. So we need to fool this one, the check. But we also need that when it takes the string and sending us to the file, it need to know that the MD part shouldn't be there. So we're gonna put something like a null token here. Because when you're checking it, it's going to check the string. But then when it's going to send you to the file, it's going to use the string in some kind of URL. And then it's going to chop it off. So we're going to use %0. But that doesn't work. We need to encode it as well. So %2500. I think that's going to work. Yeah, and we got a file. We have it here. Yeah. So now we have done one thing that we know about. We did something on Rogue. So let's go back. So now we actually have solved 4 of them. So just by doing this, we find this like spelling out your inner secrets error, as well as we did poison null byte, the error handling. We find a forgotten file, and then with the confidential document. So we have solved 4 of them with this. Yeah, and we can close those up. Now it's going to start to look a lot greener here as well. So that's what you do about it. If you need help, you try to use those with tutorials. You have the links here to clues. You just hack away and try to do things you already know or find. And you have 100 things to do. So there are a lot of things to do here. Yes. So let's go back to the presentation now. Closed it. So now I want to talk about hosting an event called Capture the Flag. So Capture the Flag is a name of the event when you are chasing code, code keys. And you do it on the time, maybe, or you do it with a team, and you are having some kind of high score. So that's the concept of Capture the Flag. Usually it's something like this, hacking, but you can do it with running around in the woods and collecting flags. So that's where it's from, actually. And the setup you need to do then is basically something like this. Every contestant need their own instance of the application. The application is kind of one instant hacking. So you can't share an instance, because if you have hacked something that is like green checked, and you can't do it again. So every person needs their own, but they can set it up whoever they like. They can do locally or on Azure or Docker or any of the other options that are available. And then we need to have a score server, a completely different instance. And on that one, every user is gonna do their profile. And when they've done a challenge, they're gonna take the code that they get from the challenge and put it into the scoreboard server. What we need to do is to have the set of the instance need to be a capture flag instance. Because when you do that, you're gonna remove all the tutorials, all the extra code snippets or the links. And when you have done a challenge, you're gonna get a code. So there's a little bit of difference on how the site will behave. And then we're gonna set up a score server based on that. And all these different code are basically the same for every, they are the same for every installation. But we could provide a private key so that your setup of all this is unique for you and not the same for all the other people in the world. So you can just go and grab the codes right away. So you get the unique codes for your events as well. And that, when we set it up, for example, if you run Docker locally, you're gonna set up node environment, CFT, that tells it's gonna be a CNT instance and have this capability of giving you your code. Then, if you like, you can provide a CTF key. So if you're doing that, everybody that's going to set it up needs to put up the same private key. And you need to have it as well when you set up the score server. But that's optional. The same way, if you're putting it up in Azure or similar, you need to specify the environment variables, node environment, and optional the CTF key. So we have a couple options for score servers. I do like Routerbox, open source. You can download it here. There are two more that the Juicebox manual is pointing at, but I think this have a good graphical interface and good support directly for it. There is one of the other is called Facebook. Facebook something, and that's okay, but it's kind of a map of the world, and you choose a country, so it feels like a war thing. So it's not kind of political correct today, I think. So just it's easy to take this down, clone it, and then they have a Docker Compose file, so you just run Docker build or Docker up, and then you have up and running locally. But of course, if you are hosting an event, you need to host it somewhere more like a cloud or something. Yes. What we also need to do is to set up the score server. So we need to, because this is not just for the Juice Shop, it is a score server that you can use for everything. You can set it up yourself for anything that have codes and needs to have like confirmation. That's it. But we want to set up for Juice Shop, and that we can do with the help of a CLI. So there is a Juice Shop CLI that can help us create an XML file for the setup of this score server. So just by pulling down this node package, we have the ability to create this file. And the file, when you create a file, you can optionally tell it what you want to name it. If you don't, you get like the date or something in the name. And then you get the option of what kind of score service are you setting up. So we are setting up the root box. And then it won't ask you for a URL. So if we just enter, we get this default site. This version of the latest version of the application. If you are using an older one or something set up, you should point and get your own. You set in your secret key if you have one. Otherwise, you use the default. And then you gonna tell what you want to do with the hints. Do you want it to the hints with the text to be free, hints with the links, or hints with the code? Are they gonna be free, or are they gonna not be there at all, or do you have a price on them? So if you have a price on them and you use them, then you don't get as much score for doing that challenge. So you have to like pay for getting help. So that's what you are setting up, and you get an XML file for that. And then we're jumping back to this. Cool. Host. There I have it running. So, in. Admin. So here we have the option of importing that XML file. And when we had done that, we can manage the game. So we can go and look at all the categories. And we can decide to actually delete some of them. Because there's 100 challenges, and maybe we want to focus on some group of challenges on our event. We don't want to have everything. It takes a time to go over everything, so it's better to limit it. We can decide on what order they should be in. We could go down and look at the different challenges. And depending on how hard they are given different scores. So one star is given 100 points, a 3-star is given 450. You can edit the flags that are called the challenges if you want to have different description on them, or if you have to remove something, and you can totally customize everything here. You can customize the event, of course, different kinds of options to do. You can set up users or team in advanced or manage them here. You could just look at how things work in the scoreboard from the different teams and what they manage to do. And when you're ready to run the game, you need to start the game. So when you set this up, the game isn't started. So we need to start the game here to be able to, as a user, to use it. So let's log out and log in as one of the users, or the only one. So here is me and my team. They have they organize everything in teams. So you want to do it individually. Everybody have their own team here. So you can see how we are progressing. Nothing for me, nothing for a team. I can go to see the scoreboard, the summary. We can look at the chart. We can go to the missions. That's basically the different categories. And I can go in and see what I have to do. So one of the missions is to find a scoreboard. I can get a hint. And here I've set it up so it doesn't cost anything. So just give me a hint. So find it in the scoreboard. And this is, I activated the links hint here as well. So this is going to give you a tour over to this guide. Oh. All right. What's happened to this here? So let's do just the scoreboard again. So I'm going to my instance of the challenge. And this one is a little bit different, as I said. You don't have any tutorials or you don't have a linkage here. You only have this short description to work with. So we're doing the same thing to find the scoreboard. We are on the scoreboard, so we already find it here. And we get a green pop-up. If we close it, we can open it again here. And then we have this code here. Copying the code. We go here. We submit. And it will become green. So now we have done that. So hopefully we will see that we have one little progress here on that one. Maybe have more here. No, it's basically that. So we have come a little bit away from. So that's basically what you do if you want to host this kind of capture flag event. You need this score server. You set it up exactly as you want. Every instance need to have the city capture flag environment flag, and then you start the game and you host the event, basically. Yes. So hopefully you have been a little bit inspired by hacking of what we did together. You know how to set the Juice Shop up to play it with yourself. You could host an event without the scoreboard, just help people getting the Juice Shop up and running with some guidance on how to suit you and how the other developers that you do deals with, what background they have. If you are using Amazon, then you write a guide on how to set up Docker in Amazon or something. And then you just hack, or you do like an event with the capture flag. Do notice that since this is open source and the capture event, like the flags is available if you don't use a private key, don't really use it for like cash prices or something like that, because it's too easy to cheat. But if you are doing it in a smaller group in a company, you could do it for kind of some kind of price anyway. But think about that. There are some other solutions out there that you can use, or you write one yourself. The scoring board is generic, so you can use it anyway. But I hope you have found something to do. We have time for questions if you have. Otherwise, I'm kind of coming to my end. I do have on my blog that guidance on how to set it up, the Juice Shop, if you like. Otherwise, you can find everything on the OWASP project page, I would say. And if you do need help with something, just ping me, and I will gladly help you to find what you need. So we take questions afterward, but thank you for your time, and I hope you get inspired. Otherwise, you could come forward. Yes, in the back.
Yeah, just curious, are there any binary exploitation challenges on the capture the flag Juice Shop?
Yeah, the question is if there are any binary files challenges, right? Yeah. We do have a couple of things with files. I don't remember exactly. I haven't done all the 100 myself, but there are a couple of things with files, and you saw the file upload with the images. So I think there's something there, actually. And about the stars, we did the 1 star and a 3 star. There are up to 6 stars, so there are a lot more complicated things to do than we did now. So, yeah, yes.
Can you change or add challenges?
The question is, can you add or change challenges? Yes, you can. You need to have something more to do, of course. So since it's open source, you can add something more before you deploy it. And on the score. Okay. So you don't think on the scoreboard, score server, but in the actual application. Yeah, there are things that you can customize. A lot of things you can actually customize the whole interface and look and feel, so you have the more branded, if you like. And you also have there are an admin page. That's actually one of the hacking challenges to find that one. So you could go in and do that as well. But you need to like add the Explorer as well. So it's a bit of coding also, I would say. But it's open source. You just branch it and move on. Or add it as a pull request if you found something more to add. They will gladly take it, I would guess. Yes. Yeah, one more.
So if you want to introduce this with colleagues,
yeah.
Would you recommend doing a capture the flag or recommend just open and play? Because we then later do a capture the flag, then someone can play with it.
Yeah. So how to introduce this to our colleagues? If they have never ever done something similar, I would say just play with it. If you do it like 2 hours or something, they will not get too far. So of course it's kind of annoying to they have done something, want to do it again, but that could be a head start that they know how to do some stuff and just pick one. Or you remove and just keep one category or something, or encourage them to use only one category when they are first getting to know the application. But of course, when you've done it a couple times, it's out, and you need to look for something other capture flag event as well. And there are some online things, and one thing you could do is try use some of the other online. I think there's something called Hack the Box or something. So you can use that one just to they get to know things, and then you host an event with this one. But I did it like that when I did it with my colleague the first time. I just set it up. Let's do it together, sit by yourself or sit with a colleague, do whatever you like, but let's just hack it together and see how far we got. And we had like 2 or 3 hours, I think. And they got bitten. They wanted to do it more, I would say. Yes? Okay, go away and hack. Juice Shop.